Hello, my name is Brian Borelli. My job? My job is to explain the instructional design model developed by Hynek, Melinda, Russell, and Smaldino. I know what you're thinking. Who can remember all of that? Well, you're in luck. The design model by Hynek, Melinda, Russell, and Smaldino is also known as the Assure model. Yep, you guessed it. Assure is one of those handy-dandy acronyms we love to use. So what does the acronym ASSURE stand for? Each letter in the ASSURE model stands for a different step in the design process. A. Analyze learners. S. State objectives. S. Select media and materials. U. Utilize media and materials. R. Require learner participation. And E. Evaluate and revise. Before we look closer at each step, let's take a moment to look at the development of the ASSURE model. Developed in 1999, the ASSURE model is classroom-oriented with a focus on creating plans with media and technology incorporated to enhance instruction. The model was developed as a systematic way to assure good learners. In the first step, we are going to analyze our learners. In this step, we want to look for general characteristics such as grade level, job, and other factors that may affect learners. Next, we're going to look at competencies such as entry knowledge, vocabulary, and attitude towards learning. We also want to factor in any preferred learning styles of our learners. Next, we are going to state our objectives. We need to use measurable terms using the ABCD model. First, we look at the audience, or who we're teaching. Next, the desired behavior using action verbs from the Helpful 100. Next, consider the conditions or tools that can be used. And finally, the degree of accuracy that we expect. Next, we will select media and materials. Looking at media, we want to select appropriate and available devices for the lesson. When selecting materials, they can be pre-made, adapted, or completely designed from scratch. U stands for Utilize Media and Materials. In this step, you need to determine how the selected media and materials will be used, making sure to set realistic goals based on the setting. R stands for Require Learner Participation. In this step, you look at how to engage your learners. I do want to note that Hynek, Melinda, Russell, and Smaldino view this step as highly important. During this step, you should look at how students will practice and how you will give and get feedback. The final step, Evaluate and Revise, is actually two separate steps, but that wouldn't make a nice and neat acronym, would it? In the evaluation process, you look at the total picture. Is the process feasible and the objectives obtainable? In the revise phase, you would change your plan on an as-needed basis. Now that we are familiar with each of the steps in the ASSURE model, let's look at a couple pros and cons of this instructional design model. Let's start with the pros. First, this model is student-centered, focusing on the learner. Next, while there is no diagram for this model, it is easy to remember the steps using the ASSURE acronym. And finally, because it looks like a typical lesson plan with an emphasis on media, it is a familiar process and does not have a large learning curve. On the other hand, let's look at some cons. Being a simple design plan is both a pro and a con. While simplicity can be good, it can be a limited model containing no needs analysis in the plan. Another drawback is its limited use outside of the classroom setting. As one final note, I want to leave you with this idea. A quote from Sharon Smaldino, one of the developers of the ASSURE model. She says, "It's not about the technology and media. It's about the learners and the important decisions we make as designers and instructors to ensure successful learning opportunities." I hope you have enjoyed learning about Hynek, Melinda, Russell, and Smaldino's instructional design model known as the ASSURE model. Thanks for watching.
Created using Powtoon.